Here with Mr. Drew Weisenhunt. How are you, buddy?
I'm all right. It's Wizenhunt.
I'm so sorry.
Everybody does it.
It looks like it's spelled Weisenhunt.
I'll take wise.
Yeah, you are wise. Wise beyond your years. How are you doing tonight?
I'm very well. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. I'm kind of burning the midnight oil tonight. We've got quite a few things to talk about. Just to let everyone know, this is probably going to be a weekly thing. Me and you get on here, start discussing topics, what's going on in Missouri, Mountain View, Shannon County, Howard County, just all over the state of Missouri and the nation. What do you feel about that, man?
Yeah, yeah. The microcosm that we call the Ozarks.
Yes, literally. Seems like whatever happened here, you can kind of take it out on a bigger scale, and it seems like it's happening across the nation as well.
Yep.
It's like, well, let's jump right into this first. Howe County Sheriff, or not Howe County Sheriff, Howe County State Patrol has been charged with rape.
Yeah, I just saw that on the way over here.
Crazy. You know, they we trust them, man. We're forced to trust them. You know, and then people in leadership and authority, you know, you can either use it for good or use it for bad. And I think we've seen a lot of bad recently, and something's going to have to give. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of trust lost.
Yeah.
And how does, you know, a highway patrol getting pulled over getting charged with rape? How does a woman going down the highway stop on the side of the road and not fear that's going to happen to her? I know not all cops, and I'm for the cops, but that is a serious fear for women now. Is they get stopped on the side of the road? What kind of cop are they dealing with? A good or a bad? You know?
Yeah, I mean these stories invoke like PTSD.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh my God, you see. I mean, well, let's just face it. You know, I don't think I'm alone here. You know, anytime you ever see those lights flashing,
Yeah, you're like,
you instantly feel like Osama bin Laden or something. You know what I mean? It's like, are they gonna disappear me? Am I gonna wind up in some room and they're gonna throw the room away or whatever? You know? And,
or just make up a false charge.
Yeah.
Or I mean, we've seen it. It's scary shit.
and then you have to remind yourself, like, wait a second, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, yeah. Like I am innocent until proven guilty.
But those lights, you know, automatically you're just in a different mindset.
Yeah, and
Your day can just go to shit real quick. Sorry, excuse my language.
Nope,
Your
you're good.
day to go to crap
we
real
have
quick.
we have very colorful language here on Den Talks podcast.
I'm trying to. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm trying to be a good boy. You know, I'm trying to be a better man every day,
Amen.
Drew.
Amen. Me too.
And we're getting there one day at a time, one step at a time. So we're going to start. Howe County, Missouri. A Missouri State Highway Patrol trooper has been charged with second-degree rape after an investigation by the West Plains Police Department. Good job, West Plains. It's got to be hard investigating one of your own. So credit to them
Yeah.
for doing it. Charging records filed in Howe County accuses trooper Ethan Minge of sexually assaulting a woman at her West Plains home on July 27, 2025. Probable cause statement says the woman reported Minge came to her residence and attempted to initiate sex. The question I got was this on duty or off duty? Because that's an important part of this story is, did this happen while he was under the authority of Missouri and the badge, or did this happen on off time as a citizen?
Both horrible.
Both horrible.
Worse if he was on duty. Yeah.
Absolutely. That badge means something. You know, we talked about this tonight in church. You know, the oath of office, the oath of authority, whenever you take that oath to serve, protect, it doesn't matter if you're a cop, service member, political figure. When you take that oath, you are held to the highest of standards. And, you know, a lot of people, they're pretty hard on me because I'm so hard on politicians. But it is because of that oath that I am. Because the ones with the most power have to be held to absolute accountability. Otherwise, they'll run unchecked. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And it is our jobs, how our forefathers intended it, for us to keep that in check. We don't have the Second Amendment for deer hunting. And I'm not calling for violence.
Right.
But the First Amendment is to speak our mind. The one that protects that is the Second Amendment. What is it for? It is to take up arms against a tyrannical government. If it ever needs to come to that point, which God forbid it does, and I hope it never does, and I'm not calling for violence, and I'm not wanting violence, but it's there to protect us.
Yeah. Yeah. We are reminded sometimes how frivolous they think that is. You know, I remember
Absolutely.
Biden said, "What are you gonna do? You know,
Oh,
you're gonna what do you say? F-16s? I think we're way. I don't even know.
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
current
we got
plan is, but-
F-16s, you got guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, he's got a point. I mean, we could never hopefully, and I truly believe this with my whole heart, if something was to ever happen, and I hate even talking about this just because of the climate of the country right now, but most of your military are small town country boys who love their country and love their people. I firmly believe in my heart of hearts, if it ever came down to the military being used against the citizens in a corrupt, tyrannical, or evil way, that most of the military would stand up and say no.
Good Lord, I sure hope so.
God, that's the only thing we can do. I mean, we can't compete with nukes.
I mean, well, look what they're trying to do now with the, what is it? What do they call them? The seditious six or whatever?
Seditious six.
Yeah, they're telling them not to follow unlawful orders. Well,
Yeah.
I certainly hope that if, somebody told the military to go against its citizenry, that would be unlawful.
Exactly. No, I agree 100%. Back to this, we kind of got off subject. The alleged victim told investigators she repeatedly said no, but Minge allegedly persisted, pushed her onto her back, and had intercourse with her without her consent. The following day, according to the affidavit, Minge texted the woman acknowledging she had told him no and apologized for what happened. The court has set a $10,000 bond with several conditions. Minge joined the Missouri State Highway Patrol in January 2024 and was assigned to Troop G. He has pleaded not guilty in the case. $10,000 bond, that's not much. And I think this is the whole point whenever something like this happens to someone with a badge, is how many people has he arrested for the same thing? I mean, a hypocrite at the very least, a disgusting individual who deserves life in prison because he had a badge on whenever this happened. If he had the badge on, he's still under the authority of Missouri.
Yeah.
He's still a cop. He's there to serve and protect. He took an oath.
Where's this all at? I feel like we have to say allegedly. Like where
Yes.
where is this at? Are they?
He's charged.
He's charged, and there's text messages
There's
where he's
text
admitting guilt.
yes.
Apparently,
But he's pled not guilty. So we'll have to wait for court. But it's troubling. It is
Oh, well,
troubling
it's
that
just-
we keep seeing this stuff pop up.
and I think part of his coverage was Shannon County,
Yeah,
so that's another one.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just we got to get a handle on our own. Before I don't know. It's scary. It's a scary time we live in, man. That badge means something, and if he's found guilty, he should be held to the fullest extent of the law. I feel like this happening on someone who has taken an oath should be more severe. I'm not saying that if it happens to a civilian that, like a civilian does it, it shouldn't be severe, but extra on top of that because of his authority and the level of trust that the public has put in him.
Yeah, how many? We're always kind of browbeat about no one's above the law.
Yeah.
All the time, and
Yep.
our leadership, they should hold a much higher standard for themselves. Not even the appearance of law breaking.
Yeah. No, I agree. Prayers to the victim. If he is guilty, let justice be done, because that's what he deserves. We'll see. I think we'll follow this story, and as the trial comes up and charges, if he's convicted or whatever, I think we owe it to the people of Howe County to at least talk about that, and we'll keep coverage on all things going on with law enforcement.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's get to hot topic of the night. Let's talk about Candace Owens. What do you think, Drew?
Man, I don't know what to think. That's kind of like a tornado firestorm there with that one.
She's kind of gone crazy.
She raises. I have questions.
I do too.
And she has questions, so we have that in common.
Yep.
I don't.
But to tear down Charlie's legacy, what Charlie has worked his entire adult life, I mean his short adult life, to build, is she doing right by her best friend's legacy just to tear it completely down and claim that Turning Point was behind this, claim that his own wife was behind this without any solid evidence? I mean, we're seeing a true crime drama play out in real time. Next episode we're going to get somewhere. I have the receipts, but we never see the receipts.
Yeah. Well, I'm still waiting on the Bridget McCrone evidence.
Yeah, I know. But see, okay, glad you brought that up, because that's a good point. I think she's getting ready to start taking some real big heat for everything that's going on, because yes, when you mess with the Bridget McCrones and stuff, what is Bridget McCrone going to do? Is she just going to drop trowel right there and show it like I'm not a man?
Lord, I hope not.
Exactly.
I don't want to see that.
So that kind of stuff she can play with,
Yeah.
and I think she's a very smart woman and she knows what she's doing.
Highly intelligent woman.
Yeah, and she is I think she is taking advantage of political capital, of influential capital, whatever you want to call it. But she's making, she likes to bring up who has everything to gain from this. Well, Candace, it kind of looks like you have everything to gain from this with how much money you become the #1 podcast in the world. I mean, by your own logic, should people be pointing at her?
It's interesting, but I know we'll probably get into it later. But the Nick Fuentes is similar in that it's like there's this new era of like shock jockism.
Yeah,
It's like the more incendiary, like just the wildest things imaginable get said, and then people just flock to it.
Yes.
It's like TV's kind of a thing of the past, and so now it's this kind of thing.
Politics have become the new drama.
Yeah,
and
well, it's real.
It is real, but to the point of 3 months ago, we watched one of the most prominent figures in Republican Party lose his life live. We all saw it, and man, and I'm going to get into this on my monologue, but I just want to touch on it right now. Is Republicans had a chance to unite.
Yeah.
We had a chance to take power indefinitely from the liberals and the Democrats.
Several times already.
Several times, but when Charlie died, that felt like a 9/11 moment. It felt like everyone was coming together like, okay, we know who the enemy is now. It's these people that want us dead. That's who our enemies are.
Yeah.
And it felt like a unification of the Republican Conservative Party. Wherever you stand on the other issues, we all agree Charlie shouldn't have died.
Well, and to your point, it was actually bigger than that. There were a lot of Democrats who were outraged over the hatred and celebration of it. So it was a lot like 9/11. It was a unifying moment.
Yes, and then there were some like Obama who, violence will never be tolerated in this country, and that's the only thing I can say about it because I can't piss off my base, And then the AOCs who go on the floor and interrupt the moment of silence because she didn't like what Charlie had to say. Shut up, you stupid bartender. No one wants to hear from you,
Yeah. She's the face of the party, though.
Yeah, she is. And she's also the brains of the party. And that's what scares me so much about where the Liberal Party is headed is that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is now your face and your brains. How far have we fallen? You went from Biden to AOC. Where are you going next? It don't get dumber. I saw a good point about this. When Bill Clinton got into office, he had to pick a vice president that was stupider than him.
Yeah.
Whenever Obama got in, he had to pick a vice president that was stupider than him.
Yeah.
When Kamala Harris ran, she had to pick a vice president that was more stupid than she was, and that's how we end up. That's how we end up with Tampon Tim. Yeah. Sorry, I'm yelling into the mic. That's how we end up with Tampon Tim running as the vice president of the country, and he can't handle being called retard.
So what would it be? If it was AOC? What would it? Well, we should start like a betting pool. Like, who would the running mate be that would be stupider?
Oh, Ilhan Omar.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the obvious choice. I mean, I think they're both right there on stupidity level as far as ignorant. But
I think AOC doesn't know how to use a garbage disposal.
Oh, no. Do you remember when she first got elected and she was doing her live stream about how I'm so poor and I can't afford to move to Washington, D.C.?
That changed real quick.
How much is she worth now? Do you know?
I don't know, but it's a... We're talking about money and politics, and when they come in with nothing, and it's hard to swallow.
Someone watching this live stream right now, please go to the FEC, find out how much has been donated to her, find out what she's worth, please, and comment because I'm curious.
Yeah, what they would tell us.
Yeah, and that doesn't include the sneaky backroom deals and the backroom money. And the bad thing is these brilliant billionaires, these brilliant billionaire businessmen and women are going along with her and giving her money because they know she's so stupid that they can manipulate her.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's like, yeah, here's $100 million. We're going to manipulate you. You're going to do what we want, and we're going to do it under the guise of green climate change, whatever you want to call it, social inequality, DEI.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to get what we want done.
Yeah.
And all you're going to see is the label on it. AOC. Idiot. But you're right. Who? Because obviously the next Democratic nominee will probably be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Correct? You think so?
That's what they're giving us like preemptive warning that that's where it's headed to.
That
You know.
that's the only logical place it can head. I mean, what you can't go back to an Obama. I mean, even he was radical for his time, but he is nothing near what we are at now. Yes, he's fallen in line with them, but who, if not her, Gavin Newsom?
Oh, good Lord.
I mean, the grifter of all grifters who went on and did an interview with Charlie Kirk and said, yeah, we talked about, trans, but we don't really want kids doing it. While they're chopping kids' genitals off in their state.
Maybe since we're talking about California, maybe Swalwell.
Maybe who?
Swalwell?
Swalwell. Yes.
VP for AOC, maybe?
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Although she'd probably pick a woman. But.
Yeah, or cackling Kamala Harris. I mean...
You think she'd step down to a VP level?
At this point, she's nothing. It's more power than what she currently has. And it would claw her out of the abyss of social ostracization. You know what I mean? Like, no one likes her, no one wants her right now, but...
Most unpopular primary candidate in the entire list.
But I don't think they're smart enough to see it. Because she only lost because America is not ready for a female president, don't you know?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, it's because we're all
racist.
Sexist.
Sexist, misogynistic pigs is what we are.
Yeah. I'm good with that. No, just kidding.
Right?
Just kidding.
No, honestly, here's the thing. If an awesome woman was to run for president, who shared my values, who was strong on the border, who was strong on America first, who was strong on the values I held, I would not have a problem circling or filling in that bubble by a name of a woman.
Yeah, for sure.
But all we've seen so far is Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. And yeah, that's not going to do it for America. Thank God.
Yeah.
I was very worried that I know the poll showed Trump winning in this past election, but man, I was worried. I had very little faith that we were actually going to pull it off after 2020.
Well, I mean, Joe Biden got more votes than Obama did. So.
Yeah, what, 90 million or something like that?
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but it's a lot.
It was a lot. Yeah,
it was.
More than Obama.
Way more. And, ballot harvesting was going on. They were sending out ballots, multiple ballots to the same mailing address and, just fill them out, send them in. And, there was a lot of good points brought up in the 2020 election about it being rigged and stolen. But I think they went about it the wrong way. If they would have focused on the stuff they could prove, like the ballot harvesting and sending ballots to more than one ballots to the same address, like that is stuff that it's right there in our face. They can't refute it.
Well, they're changing their own state election laws.
Absolutely. Yep.
I don't know how many cases that occurred, but they actually changed their own. They went against their own election laws in their state.
Well, I remember seeing on the news that the night of the election, we saw ballot drop boxes on fires in more red places that would obviously be for Trump.
Water mains breaking and
voting places closing down in the dead of night, not allowing any what are they called, poll watchers in.
And putting up big sheets across the windows where you can't see what's why would if it's
that is like it has every ingredient for someone saying, hey, something's going on with this election. I don't think we were wrong to say that something was going on, and I still think something went on. And I guess it's kind of safe to say now. I mean, we're not getting canceled for what we say or our opinions, which I love.
Yeah.
Which brings into the likes of Candace Owens being able to say whatever she wants, and Nick Fuentes, who was on Pearson Morgan, which we will get into later because that was amazing.
Broke the internet.
It did. Well, one thing. You have Mr. Papa Piz, who, and being racist is not good. I understand that. But he thinks the ultimate insult of all insults is to call someone a racist. And if someone was to admit they were racist, they are signing their death warrant and their head is going to be lobbed off right there on stage.
Yeah.
And whenever he says, are you saying you're racist? And Nick says, yeah, I guess you can call me that. He glitched. He didn't know what to go from there. So he a Catholic resorted to making virgin jokes at another Catholic.
Yep.
Wild times we live in, Drew.
It's very wild. And the racist stuff, that card has been pulled so many times in so many different ways that it's almost like calling everybody Hitler for every little thing. It just loses something,
Exactly. I remember Donald Trump, KKK, racist, sexist, anti-gay. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It's catchy, I mean, I still remember it. It's just, like you said, these labels have no meaning anymore.
No.
Because they're overused. When you call everyone Hitler, that means Hitler was an everyday person. And he wasn't. He was a monster.
Yeah.
We're not Hitler. I'm looking at you, corner of Shannon County. I am not Hitler. I am not a Nazi. But you say I am. Which is wild to me, because once you put that label on someone, what do you do to them? We saw in World War II, what do you do to Nazis? They get killed.
Well, yeah.
And that leads to more problems, more strife. What do you think?
Well, it's terrible. People, I mean, you have freedom of speech, certainly.
Yep.
But whenever you have cult people following you around and you accuse people of, fascism and Nazism and things like that, and if these people believe everything you say and they genuinely believe that, then you can expect violence to ensue.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like, what's the old question? It's like, if you had a chance to go back in time and kill baby Hitler, would you do it? It's like,
Jay Jones wouldn't. He would shoot the Republican nominee twice. And I will never let that go because you guys elected him. Right? Though, I mean, that was what he said. If he was in a room, I can't remember who the candidate was against Jay Jones, but he said he would shoot him twice. Because to change them on policy, you have to threaten them with violence.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at. That's where the liberals are at.
Yeah.
That's where, and by saying liberal, I do want to make a distinction between old school Democrat and liberals. To me, they are two separate parties. The old school Democrats, I agree with them on some things. The Liberal Party of today is not a Democrat. They are liberals. They are a new party of, they call us far right, but they are far loony. They are left of left, and the moderate left of them is still radical left to the leftists.
Well, it's like, I love.
Does that make sense?
It does, and I think a distinction that I draw is I don't really care if they're Democrat. Do you love this country? And it seems like this new brand of they hate this country.
They hate America.
It's like we have some different ideas about how things should run. Okay, fine, we can talk about that. But do you love this country?
Whatever happened to 80-20? Most Americans agree on 80% of the issues, and then we disagree on 20, and we figure it out from there. Now it's 100 and 100. You're either on the right, you're on the left.
Yeah.
And you do not give an inch. And that's where we've gotten on the political climate. The political theater has turned nothing more into than Gladiator.
Yeah.
Shed the blood.
Yeah.
Destroy the other candidate.
Yeah, and the goalpost seem like it just constantly moves. I mean, you spoke about Obama and Hillary earlier. I mean, those people were all like for strong borders.
Yeah,
that wasn't that long ago.
That wasn't a radical idea.
No.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now 15.
Now you're racist and xenophobic or whatever.
And deserve death, apparently. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know what the answer is, but
define terms and hold people to them.
Define terms and hold people to them. You're absolutely correct. Like we were talking about. Let's talk about that for a second. I'm arguing abortion, and a leftist is arguing abortion. We have two different definitions of what abortion is. The definition of abortion for the liberal is not my definition of abortion.
Women's health care.
Yes, women's health care. And it's not.
No.
It's I'm sorry. Okay. Women, I am sorry that you guys have to grow another human inside you. It's a miracle. It's amazing. We couldn't do it. We aren't formed like that. That's nature. I mean, life's not fair, but you have that opportunity to grow life, which is an absolute blessing. But then you want to throw it under women's health care, and you think just because you want to be irresponsible, you can just kill another life. I'm sorry it's in your body, but that's how God created us. That's where it's at. A society that does this to children is doomed to fail.
Yeah.
And it scares me how far we have fallen into the abortion trap. I mean, where we're at right now, Missouri has one of the most lenient abortion laws in all of America. And that was passed last November, and now we're working on an A3 fix, but it doesn't fix it. Not really. It still gives fetal anomaly is how it's defined in there. So what is a fetal anomaly?
A fetal anomaly.
Yes. Is that a baby who misses one heartbeat and then it goes back to normal? Is that a fetal anomaly?
I guess some people might. There you go, defining terms.
It's a dangerous thing because when we see this blanket in there, fetal anomaly, that could mean anything, man. The baby is, and I'm calling it a baby because that's what it is to me. And it is, period. But that baby is an inch shorter than it should be in its third term. Is that a fetal anomaly? Does that give them a reason? You know what I mean? We have, like you said, we have to define these definitions because what do they mean if not?
Yeah.
And it's scary.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, one of the things that's amusing to me is, liberals or Democrats or people in pro-abortion people say, if you make abortion illegal, people will find illegal means to do it anyway. It's like, and gun owners are like, wait, what?
Yeah, wait, let's come on, back up. Let's redo that argument for guns, and then you're going to scream at us. Yeah. Rules for thee, but not for me. It's selective hearing and selective thinking. Mm-hmm. As long as it goes with the opinion of one side or the other, we're bad about it too. But yeah, if it works for my side, but no, we don't have it for the other discussion because
the guns will just disappear if you give them up.
Well, look at the UK right now. They have like no gun deaths, but man, how many sword deaths, how many knife deaths do they have?
Yeah.
They have a problem.
Yeah, Amazon. It's like Amazon's like delivery for mass murder.
Exactly. It's almost as if bad people wanting to do harm will find a way to do harm to good people. The only people to stop bad people are good people with a weapon.
Yeah.
It's the only way we stop it.
Yeah.
Did you see the story about, I think it's Columbia, Missouri. I saw it before we came in here about there was an abortion rally going on, pro-life, pro-choice, pro-life, pro-murder. And the pro-life guy ended up having to shoot the other guy because he got him down, kicked him in the back of the head, and he pepper sprayed him first. The guy kept coming at him. He grabbed the gun. 3 others came up to help the one that was pepper sprayed, which was the pro-murder guy. And one of them got shot. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, that happened, I think, today. I saw it as soon as...
So the pro-abortion person attacked...
The pro-life person.
And the pro-life person pepper sprayed the...
Yes, to get them away.
And the pro-abortion person had a firearm? Or the
pro-life guy had a...
And they took it from him?
They tried to take it from him.
Okay.
He tried to flee.
Okay.
They came after him, got him on the ground, and then you hear a gunshot ring out. That happened today. I need to look into that, and we'll talk more on that.
Kyle Rittenhouse kind of situation.
Yeah, literally same type of thing. But that guy, he's still going to go to jail. He's already being charged with murder. Where
was this?
Columbia, Missouri.
Oh,
I think
wow.
Columbia, Missouri.
Oh wow.
I might be wrong on that, but I think it was Columbia, Missouri. Like I said, I saw it right before we came in here. I need to look into it, but it said Columbia, so I'm guessing Columbia, Missouri. I'll find out for sure, and we'll go. So. I'm going to just hop into this monologue real quick, get some shit started. Candace Owens. She is secretly a Democrat who has been waiting for her moment to divide the conservative party. I know this by researching her past affiliations with liberal and Democratic connections. And here we are fractured. Did she truly change her beliefs and join the Republican Party, or did she see money signs that a Democrat turned Republican would increase her bank account? And let's face it, how many people truly change their views? Not many. A wolf in sheep's clothing, the MAGA rift, and the only ones benefiting are the would-be defeated left who now have a chance to win the midterms, all because of a true crime drama started by an obsessive woman who is grasping for straws wherever they may be and may not be. Charlie's death should have truly been a turning point of unity, of people opening their eyes to what the liberal left has become. Yet here we are, handing them a chance to climb the hill of influence after a sound defeat. Charlie would not want TPS or Turning Point USA destroyed. It's his legacy. Yet here we are, a woman who I believe is in love with Charlie, a scorned lover, destroying everything Charlie worked so hard to create, and with that, his legacy. In Candace's own words, there isn't a more important subject than the truth of Charlie Kirk's death. Yet now, Turning Point USA has afforded her the opportunity to sit down and get the answers she so desperately wants. And she's too busy. Too busy doing what? Asking the questions she would get answers to on the Turning Point live stream? No. She has monetized Charlie's assassination, saying wild, crazy things because it pays well. Why else would she not fly out and do the show she has been demanding for the past 3 months? Easy answer. Because her moment on the top of the charts would end and everyone would see the liar and greedy creature that she is. I don't think she truly believes a word she says. Yes, there are questions to be raised about Charlie's death. Yes, we know that there are phones from different countries. Like, there are important questions that are raised that needs answered. But Turning Point USA didn't kill their leader. Only capitalizing on the death of one of America's most influential voices of our time is Candace Owens. She is nothing more than a grifter. Always. Always has been, always will be. And so many within our party has fallen victim to her scam and have lined her pockets, giving her wealth that she truly doesn't deserve. By that, I mean making millions off the death of her so-called best friend. I called Candace a secret Democrat at the beginning of this, and I said I had receipts. You see how easy it is to state something as fact without truly believing what's being said? I don't think that she's a Democrat, but I made it sound like she was. Time to wake up and ask what needs asked, but let's not tear down Charlie's legacy, his family, and I'm off the cuff here, but and what he created, what he unified the Republican Party to be for fame and money. It don't matter. What Charlie did was bigger than money. It was bigger than fame. He's a reason Donald Trump won. Without him, I truly don't believe Trump wins. He had a ground game like we've never seen. He spoke to the youth in a way that we will be lucky to ever see in our life again. And he was smart, he was witty, he was kind, and guess what? He kept Jesus at the forefront of everything. Something I fail to do daily, and I'm working on for my soul. That man knew his faith. He was unafraid to talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He was unafraid to spread the scripture to people who have never heard it. He converted people. He brought them into our party, not by insulting them, but listening to. He would call them dumb whenever they had a dumb point. But he showed them a different way. He showed them that there is room for you in our party, that you can change, you can find Christ in your life, and you can go for a better life. And Candace, I think you are doing a disservice to the name of Charlie Kirk. I really wish you would think about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when Charlie's little girl and little boy grow up. They're going to be watching all these videos you're doing, and they're going to say, was Candace really Dad's friend? Because it sure don't look like it. Anyway, that's my monologue on that. I'm sorry it got kind of heavy, but it's true.
I like what you did there with I was wondering, like, she's a secret Democrat. I was like, yeah, and bring the receipts. And anyone can do that.
Absolutely.
Anyone can do that. And she certainly does. And you keep, like, with bated breath, okay, today's the day. We're going to,
Yeah, it's a true crime drama playing out in real time.
But then it doesn't.
It never comes to fruition.
Yeah.
How many different theories are we going to get? And she's going to say, well, I've got this from an inside source. I got this from within Turning Point. I got this from within whatever. But she never brings it out. If she truly knew or believed that Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk, was behind Charlie's death, she would be on that live stream within seconds with the receipts to their face.
This is way suspect that, like you say, she's demanding this interview.
Yep.
And then she's too busy asking questions about the answers that she would get to
Makes no
go.
sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
3 months straight, she has been saying, name a time and place, Turning Point. I will be there. Mm-hmm. We will do this live stream because I have the receipts. Turning Point says, okay, let's do it. I'm too busy. Why are you too busy? I've got a live stream to do. About what? About the exact things you're going to ask questions about?
Yeah.
You don't want answers. You just want followers. You want clout.
And what was it? She was. I think it was Nick Fuentes was saying it, but she was upset that they messaged her like on X late at night or something.
The audacity.
Yeah. And it's like, we invited you on. You accused us of killing our boss.
Exactly.
And we invited you on to come talk, and it didn't work out for your time schedule.
No.
Or whatever.
But the time schedule of anywhere, any place, anytime.
Yeah. Right.
It just, and this is what is so frustrating to me. I have questions about Charlie's death. I think everyone does.
Yeah, I for sure do.
Everyone knows what's played out, what we see. There's weird things, and who knows the truth? But why is she so hell-bent on destroying the movement Charlie made? She called for them to ask for refunds for donations.
Really?
Yes. Why do you want to destroy Charlie's legacy? Is it a symptom of, if I can't have him, no one can? That's what it feels like to me. Is that she is a scorned lover who could never have Charlie, so she is going to do everything she can to destroy Erica, the image of Charlie, what he built, his legacy, out of vengeance, out of retribution for the love that Charlie didn't have for her?
Well, so I don't know about all that. I really trying to climb inside the mind of that woman is laborious.
Crazy eyes.
Yeah,
See
she's got a lot of things going on there, but it makes you wonder. Her following.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, people are hungry for some other narrative.
Yeah.
So I mean, that in and of itself is fascinating to me. That clearly, if she's the number one podcaster in the world, I think they claim.
Yeah, in the world. She has that's what she said on her show. She has the number one podcast in the world right now.
Well, now she could say that she has the receipts too. Is that accurate?
I would like to. Yeah, I'd like to. But I looked at her channel. She's got over 5.35 million subscribers.
Yeah.
So if you translate that into views, you're probably looking 40 million views. Did I say 5.3 thousand? I meant million. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's probably getting 40 million. That's a lot.
There's a whole lot.
That's probably close to number one, if not number one right now in downloads.
So people that would far outweigh mainstream talk shows or news of any variety.
Blow it out of the water.
Like probably entire networks collectively.
Yeah, because you can't go off a subscriber count. It's hard to get subscribers. It's a lot easier to get viewers. Mm-hmm. So, like us, I think YouTube, we have like 300 subscribers. Facebook, we have like 2,000 subscribers. But, we just reached 1.5 million views, so like it's easier to get the views than people to click that subscribe button.
Yeah.
For some reason or another, I'm big. I mean, whenever I'm scrolling, I don't subscribe whenever I see something I like.
Well, I do.
Oh, you're a good man. You are a good man. But I don't know. It's infuriating to me because, the Democrats were done.
Yeah.
We were trending towards winning the midterms.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Kirk assassination happens. It feels like we're unifying, like, okay, we can all get behind that conservatives shouldn't die for their beliefs. Then here she comes, crazy-eyed. She's going to claim everyone out there is involved with Charlie's murder and never brings a damn receipt.
Yeah. It seems like there's not just her, but other voices, too, with the whole Trump. There's a lot of stuff going on with Trump, but
yeah,
there's this divide in the Republicans, and it does seem a whole lot like we've rescued defeat from the jaws of victory like multiple times in the last year.
But it slips through our hand every time because conservatives eat themselves. They eat themselves. We always do this. We get unified over something, and then we start fighting on the 20% issues, because it's like we cannot beat these Democrats, these liberals. We don't want to for some reason.
Hopefully that's not what it is.
Hopefully
there's this idea that there's this new generation, and I think part of the Fuentes thing, and I'm not saying.
What are you saying?
I'm not saying.
What are you saying, Drew?
I'm not saying I'm on one side of the fence or the other on that, but there's a huge draw there. Like this huge. He's a voice of a lot of people.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's
frustrated
obvious.
Americans.
Yes, and it's very anti-establishment. People are just sick of the same old business as usual, and the new boss is the same as the old boss kind of stuff. And so someone like him, I'm not sure morphing into his conversation too fast, but
no, you're good. This is a great transition.
There's this need for that, and it's ugly, and it is divisive, and it's potentially risky as far as political power goes. Mm-hmm. But at the end of it all, I think there's the potential outcome for a much stronger, newer base that demands results.
I agree. Here's how I look through the lens of politics. Whenever it comes to, like you said, like this new group coming in, yes, I agree. What worries, here's how I look at it. Just break it down. Liberals, bad ideas. Conservatives have some bad ideas, some good ideas. Which one would be better for my family and my daily life? It would be the conservative, hands down, whether it's GOP of old, hopefully the new era that's coming up, the America Firsts, the people, the ones that Trump acted like in 2016.
Yes.
Fuentes isn't doing nothing except standing behind what Trump promised in 2016.
Yep.
Minus the racial stuff. Racist.
Yeah,
as on peers, you know. Yeah. He gets a little abrasive, a lot abrasive. He says some stupid shit that honestly we could do without.
Yep.
And I don't agree with him on some of the stuff he says. But the America First values, the idea of our people before others, of making America great again, not just the logo, but truly making America a place where Americans thrive. That's something I think we get behind.
Mm-hmm.
The MAGA base is not Donald Trump.
Right.
The MAGA base is the America First, as what is defined as America First, as in everyone else second. Let's take care of our own.
Yep.
Fuentes is loud about it. He has been, and people are gravitating to him because he is unafraid and unashamed and is willing to give them those little clips.
Yeah.
He just don't care what people think about him, and that's good. To the point, it's good. I mean, I don't like the whole Hitler was a good guy. You know, I don't like that. I really don't.
Yeah.
At the same time, he's an edgelord.
Right.
He's rage baiting these establishment types.
Well, not to try to put words in his mouth whatsoever, because I don't think Hitler was effing cool as he said.
No, he was an effing monster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Sound like Pierce.
But you can. There are aspects of leadership. I'll put it that way.
He was a brilliant leader.
They were like, what was it after World War I? That their money was so destroyed that they were like literally carrying wheelbarrows full of like Deutschmarks to buy a loaf of bread or something.
Yeah.
And then in just a handful of years, whatever, they were a superpower.
Yep.
You know. So now how that all worked out and what happened, horrific.
Absolutely
horrific.
And some of the world's most brilliant leaders are also some of the world's biggest monsters.
Yeah.
Kind of goes hand in hand. They got the charisma, they've got the talk, they've got the sense of pride. But what we want is the sense of pride without the killing, the mass killing, and the mass discrimination, whatever. All you have to do is be for America.
Yeah.
Be an American.
Yeah.
Have loyalty to America.
Yeah.
Love America. That's all we want.
And I think you kind of borrow that sentiment from, because that was pretty much Germany.
Absolutely.
They were in shambles, and then it was like everybody rallied together.
Yep. And they got hyper fixated on nationalism, and it went in a horrible direction.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like no argument on World War II Germany bad, but
yeah, if we could just make America great without like trying to conquer the entire planet.
Exactly. Yes. Well, I mean, and it's possible. We just can't have a sociopath wanting world domination. You know, America first. Not a bad thing. I mean, I want my kid to grow up and thrive in this country. I want my children to be able to put down roots, live a great life, and be fulfilled. That's all I want. Have a good economy. Buy a house. That's a really big goal now, but I would love for my children to be able to buy a house one day.
Isn't that wild that today that's like the new
goal?
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, take the 18-year-olds coming out of high school this year. Can they buy a house? I mean, land?
Well, the first thing you got to do is go in debt before you can borrow money.
Absolutely.
Before you can even borrow money, you have to go into debt.
Yep.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
You mean everything like my own personal story here, but the first time I tried to buy anything on, real estate wise, I went in there and that's what they told me. It's like, you don't have any credit. I was like, everything I own is paid for. I don't owe anybody $1 for anything. I was like, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. You got to owe someone money to be able to get something.
Yeah.
And interest rates. I know the Feds just cut them today. The interest rates went down a little bit, but
today?
Yeah, today.
Really?
Yeah, Feds cut it again. But yeah, amen, right?
Amen,
We're starting to get incremental change, just little by little. But back on the topic of the whole Fuentes, America First, where America goes from here. I think Fuentes is a symptom of them killing Charlie Kirk. If you want my honest opinion on this, is Charlie Kirk was a Bush-era Republican.
Yeah.
He was very moderate. I mean, he was not the radical.
No.
They killed the moderate, which gave breath to the people like Nick Fuentes and even Candace Owens, because she's just out of her mind sometimes. And, I used to like Candace.
Me too.
And she's very smart, very intelligent, knows what she's talking about, knows what she's doing. She's she's went off the deep end with this Charlie thing. And not mean to hit on this more. I don't understand what's her end goal with it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
If it was more of a directed focus, I could stay with it, but it seems to be just all over the place.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
And nothing ever gets done. But seeing Nick Fuentes on Piers, was he on InfoWars?
He was. Quite a bit, actually.
How did that go? I didn't get to see that.
It was probably tamer
Yeah.
than the Pierce Morgan one.
Well, there was probably no need for the rage baiting that he did with Pierce.
Yeah.
You know what I think's hilarious?
What?
Pierce Morgan Uncensored.
Yeah.
They cut 2 clips from Nick's interview because he said the N-word.
Really?
Yes. Yep. So Pierce Morgan he censors. I mean, yes, the N-word is bad.
So is he still affiliated with Fox News or no?
I don't know. I think he's independent now, completely independent.
Okay. So the same name? Is that what
Mhm.
on? Okay.
Yeah, he bought the name out.
Okay.
But I think that's hilarious. Whenever you call yourself uncensored, and Nick brought up a good point. It's like, are you uncensored? You're in the UK right now.
Well, you have to get a permit to protest.
I was going to say, aren't people getting arrested over there for Facebook posts?
Yeah.
It's crazy times.
Yeah.
Crazy times. What do you have to say? Anything else on that before we move on?
On the Candace Fuentes stuff.
Yeah.
Roller coaster, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it'll all come
it's like
to
a
head.
bomb went off, and just like the fallout is ongoing.
Yeah, I think it's all going to come to a head soon. I think Candace is in a corner right now, and she don't know how to fight her way out of it. Yet she's obviously got the followers who's just going to believe whatever she said. Like, she has the receipts.
I think it's funny how everything's reactionary. Like,
Yeah.
she's not going on TPUSA, but she's going to live stream a reaction to their live stream of her thing that she couldn't attend. And then
That's a good point.
I think Nick Fuentes
Is going to live stream the reaction from Candace.
Yes.
From the live.
yes.
So what we need to do is live stream the reaction from Nick from Candace to Turning Point USA.
It's like a big feedback loop.
Yeah. I love that idea, though. We'll just keep going. We'll try to find someone else to live stream ours. What a wild world of media we live in today.
Crazy.
I mean, it is awesome. I mean, when else could you and I be on air talking to this many people about ideas and concerns that we have?
You're right.
I mean, as hillbillies, I mean, we're just regular people.
We don't have public access cable TV here, so never,
Yeah, like, and we recently just got good internet, so we can do this stuff,
Thanks, Elon.
Yeah, thank you, Elon. It's a wild time, man. I love it.
Very wild.
I love it. But yeah, anyway, just wrapping up on that Nick Fuentes thing. America First is not a bad thing, and it doesn't have to be racist. It just has to be America First.
I think we could help the rest of everybody else a lot better if we were taking care of ourselves.
I agree.
I would feel a lot more charitable if I was doing better.
Well, my grandpa told me something one time. He said, clean out your own backyard before you go clean your neighbors. You've got to have your house in order before you go helping your neighbor.
Yeah.
Because then you can't help your neighbor,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's a good point. So let's get in. This is the informative, boring part of the podcast where we talk about House Bill 2230. For those who don't know, HB 2230 is the bill I was posting about today. Basically, what it's going to do is limit computer time in classrooms. Sounds really good, right? I love that idea. But we have to think about unintended consequences, and this is where we need the politicians to think ahead and quit putting the cart before the horse. So obviously, the bill sounds good at face value. I would love this bill if it addressed the core problem first, and it does not. The core problem is DESE. For this to work, for no computers to be in the classrooms, for kids to get off the screens and get to writing on pen and paper again, they need to loosen the restriction requirements that teachers teach per day, because it is set up to be done on computers. I know it's hard. Just stay with me here on this. I have a tire shop. I have 4 workers. This is hypothetical. And say we got these 4 tire machines for these 4 workers. I demand 100 tires be changed per worker per day. They do it with the machine. I take the machines away and I demand 100 tires be changed per day without a machine. Well, they're having to break them down with a hammer, take them off with bars. Do you think they're going to get those 100 done? They're not. Maybe realistically, I could say 50, half of it. If we do not fix the requirements of DESE before we put in this bill, children will suffer. I love this bill if we address the core concern with the bill, which will not happen. All this is going to do is put more stress in the classroom on the teachers. Because right now, you have a class. Say you have a third grade class. You have two kids reading at a kindergarten level and two kids reading at a fifth grade level, just say. That teacher, with the DESE restrictions right now, or requirements right now, has to teach this A, B, C, and D through the week, and they have to hit a mastery level on this, or a comprehension level. So the other 18 kids in the class that are on grade level, the teacher has to teach the grade level so they get it. But the kindergarten reading level kids, they can't comprehend what's going on. The ones above, they're not being challenged. So they have this thing called like iReady. So it tailors lessons to where a child's at in their education. So while the teacher is focused on the majority of her class because they need to know this because they're the majority of the kids, they can be doing these lessons that are tailored to where they are as far as lower or higher. So it doesn't, because what would the teacher do? Just stop the whole class and do it all at a kindergarten level for the two?
No.
Does she do it at the third grade level for everyone that's above grade level? No, you have to worry about where everyone is. And the only way that works right now, because of DESE requirements, is those kids get a tailor-made lesson that is on the computer. That is my biggest concern, is what happens when we take away the computers from class, which I'm all for paper and pen.
Yeah.
But we have to think about the unintended consequences if we don't loosen restrictions or requirements. I keep saying restrictions that DESE demands the teachers and the classroom get through. Does that make sense? I know it makes sense. It's that whole thing is so foreign to someone like me, like we had like a class. Yeah.
That had computers in it.
Yep.
Like it was
so did we. Yeah, we had typing class.
Apple. we had like 19 dating myself here, but probably like 83 or something. We had like Apple II or something, and it was like cost like $2,000, and we had like maybe two of them in the school or something. Yeah. And it was like a class where it was very rudimentary, very, very simplistic, and that was the extent of it. Like everything else was, not like that.
Well, and whenever I saw this bill on KY3, I was like, it sounds good. It really does. And I get whoever's bill it is. I didn't even look because I'm sure it's a great Republican who just wants the best for the American people. It's not about getting votes or nothing. But if we don't, this is the problem with American politics, just on a local level, is that politicians find a solution without fixing the problem.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, the Hoover Dam is leaking. There's a big hole in it. Let's put a Band-Aid over it. Don't stop the leaking.
No.
But it looks good for now. We're good until tomorrow. DESE is the problem with schools. DESE is where true reform is going to start. We have to deal with DESE, then the classrooms, then the schools. But have you noticed? No reps, no senators, hardly any of them ever want to touch DESE. They want to go to the classrooms and demand more of the teacher, demand more of the schools, demand more of the students, but they never touch DESE.
Yeah.
We have the lottery. All this money from gambling here in Missouri, and it's supposed to go to schools to help kids. Where's it go? To make DESE bigger. And that is the whole problem, is the bureaucratic process, or the bureaucratic bloat of DESE has gotten too big for its britches, to the point where they even give money to candidates. I mean, that was a big thing. And Travis Smith, I'm going to say it. Travis Smith, he was running for senator against Brad Hudson, District 33. He got a big old check from the director. What was it? Director of DESE? Can't remember what it is, but Carla Esslinger. I don't know if they called her director or whatever it was, but he got a big check during election time from DESE. So he's compromised already. He's not going to try to fix or do anything with DESE. He lost, thank God. But what's stopping him next time? Whenever he gets that money, and then we don't have a good candidate running.
And then change it to something else.
Exactly, and that's the whole point. Is we have to stop the bureaucratic process before we go in on these schools and demand more or less. We have to fix where the problem is. That's where the requirements are made, where the school rules are brought in.
Well, so many, I don't know, it's like the erosion of Western civilization and Americana itself is also factors into that, I think. I mean, I remember sitting down with my grandparents and both of my parents when I was in school, trying to understand things I was having troubles with. Now, and maybe it's part of this conversation, but they just send them home with these Chromebooks or whatever. Yep. And as far as the parents concerned, they're doing their homework.
Yep.
They might be on YouTube, they might be playing games, they might be doing all kinds of stuff, and it's just kind of one step away from what your kid's actually doing.
Yeah.
And you're not there going over it with them, but hey, what do you do about that? And increasingly you got parents that both work.
Yeah.
And
we do farm out the parenting of our children to the schools anymore, which I think is a big problem. I was going back and forth with someone online today, and they're like, well, the school is responsible for how my child turns out. It's like, you're not. That's your job.
I certainly hope not.
That scares me, because I think that is the mindset of so many in society today is my kid is at school from 8 to 3 or however long they go. So we have farmed off the moral efficacy value system that we used to instill in our children to the public school system, which is a socialist system at its core. And it's like, okay, well, I hope my kid turns out good because I hope they've got a good teacher. Why are you putting that on the teacher? We as parents have to take responsibility.
Yeah.
The teacher teaches them. They come home to us. They learn religion, morals, value, what they stand for, what they think is right and wrong. We don't send them to a school to learn those things. They go to school to learn how to read, write, do math, and then we help them when they come home. That's still on us to make sure they grasp it.
It should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And all the things like, what'd you learn in school today? And then they say this and that. And it's like, well, here's my take on that, and then kind of question things especially when it comes to, well, I mean, your values, they can make up their own mind, but this is how I believe,
Well, that's what parents are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Is instill the values that they want instilled in the children. People are like, well, they're children, let them make up their own mind. No, that's my kid. I'm gonna instill in them what I think is good and right in the world.
Yeah.
My son is not a girl. My girl is not a boy. And we barely beat that by the skin of our teeth, and I'm sure that's going to come back around.
Good Lord help us.
And that's what happens when we let these bureaucratic government systems into our lives to the point that they are affecting change on our children. We have to rise up as parents. We have to take responsibility. We have to say, hey, those are my kids. I will teach them right from wrong. You teach them how to read and write, and then I will back you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and ideally you would homeschool them, I guess.
Absolutely.
But like
how
I said,
many can?
Increasingly, both parents are working because,
And I think that's by design.
Yeah. Yeah.
Used to. Take our grandparents. Grandpa worked. Grandma stayed home with the kids, taught them, fed them, raised them, cared for their soul, and now in the economy we currently have, it takes two both parents working. So that kid is on its own from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. or 4:30 or 5 or whenever the parents get off work. They're at a babysitter, which brings in another exposure of people whose values and morals you don't know.
Exactly.
So how many people do our children, I'll take my child. How many different exposures does my child get throughout the day? I mean, she only goes to school to my house and then mom's and everything. But how many different exposures does she have throughout the day of different valued, principled people who just hold different beliefs than I? And that's why it's so important to instill yours.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe I'm beating a dead horse here.
There's nothing more important really than that.
It's really not.
It's our future. and
Not to be taken lightly.
no, not at all. My patriotism and love of this country and so many things come from my grandfather, who was a lifelong Democrat.
Yeah.
He grew up in the Great Depression, and worked in the WPA and the CCC camps, and went and fought in World War II and did all that stuff. And he loved this country, and I don't think I ever heard that man complain about anything ever, And so that ideal is how I hold this country, is him, like that. He's Americana to me. That's
Absolutely.
That's my impression of this country and what I believe it can be, the best of us. And as long as I hold that dear to me and can transcend, hand that down to my kids, it's still alive.
Yeah.
Maybe the reality out here isn't that.
No, it's
but as long as I'm still alive, the light of that is still there,
I agree 100%. Just scares me where we're heading as a country, because if we're going to farm out, the raising of our children to these governmental systems, we've already lost the soul of this nation.
Yeah.
And we already know the government's okay with abortion, so they don't care that much about kids.
Ugh, gross.
I know.
So gross.
It is. And, sometimes you start to lose hope. But then, I don't know, we the pendulum swings, I guess. We go from radical left to maybe far right, and then it swings somewhere in the middle, which is what we're seeing now. Thank God.
Yeah.
But here's what's so scary about the political climate, and I know we've already touched on this, but I'm going to touch on it again, is 4 months ago, if you would ask me, are the Democrats going to win the next presidential election? No. Now, I'm not so sure. And the bad thing about this is they will use the DOJ, the justice system. They will weaponize all these to come after everyone. Everyone. We've already seen they'll kill us.
Yeah.
So they're going to weaponize it to come after everyone who doesn't believe like they do. And that's whenever I fear we're going to be heading to the point of no return. And it scares me, man. It scares the shit out of me that so many people turn a blind eye to it and are willing to just vote for the left because they're the left.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and some of these things, when you bring up some of these points, a lot of people, a common thing I hear is, "Oh, that's not constitutional." It's like, these people don't care.
They don't care about the Constitution.
No.
They'll wipe their ass with it if they could.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care, and they're not going to give up their power.
No, they are not. Got anything else you want to hit on before we wrap up tonight?
I'd be curious to see what your viewers make of this Venezuelan stuff going on.
Yeah, talk about that. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I probably don't know as much as everybody else does, but it seems like this kind of crept up on us and is a big, possibly a war.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a dirty word for me. I'm very anti-war, very, very anti-war. However, there's some interesting things that maybe are bigger. A lot of, the people on the left would say it's all about oil because Venezuela has huge oil reserves, potentially larger than Saudi Arabian oil reserves. But there's also some stuff in the not too distant past maybe people have forgotten about, but the whole Dominion voting machines and all that stuff come out of Venezuela too.
Absolutely. Well, 53 minutes ago from the BBC, U.S. seizes oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela.
There's the oil. The liberals are going to love that.
Let's see what it says. U.S. forces have seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. President Trump marking a sharp escalation in Washington's pressure campaign against Nicolas Maduro's government. We have just seized a tanker off the coast of Venezuela. A large tanker, very large, the largest one ever seized.
Huge.
Actually,
it's huge.
literally, this is a quote. This is literally a quote in the BBC. Large tanker, very large, the largest one ever seized, actually, Trump told reporters at the White House, releasing a video of the seizure. Attorney General Pam Bondi described the vessel as a crude oil tanker used to transport sanctioned oil from Venezuela to Iran. That's interesting. So that's that could be a little hint that they can't tell us is it was going to Iran. And, we just bunker busted Iran, 3 months ago?
Yeah.
Good night. I tell you what, the political calendar, it moves so freaking fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Carcass swiftly denounced the action, calling it an act of international piracy. Earlier, President Maduro declared that Venezuela would never become an oil economy. That never become an oil economy. They are an oil anyway. So, yeah, initial thoughts?
Well, that's interesting. Oil economy.
Yeah.
What is that? And where is that? Where there's a bigger thing there with the U.S. petrodollars and purchasing oil and that, and then the BRICS have got their own thing going on, and so is Venezuela trading oil to other countries. People's tried that. Saddam Hussein began to kind of go around to OPEC and trade, and he didn't wind up so good for him. And
Saddam Hussein?
Muammar Gaddafi began to have a gold reserve currency and potentially trading oil for things that were gold, and that didn't end so well. And there's kind of a history there.
And history repeats itself. It says, the Trump administration accuses Venezuela of funneling narcotics into the U.S. and has intensified its effort to isolate President Maduro in recent months, which we know. Venezuela, home to some of the world's largest proven oil reserves, has in turn accused Washington of seeking to steal its resources. Brent crude prices inched higher on Wednesday as news of the seizure stoked short-term supply concerns. Analysts warn the move could threaten shippers and further disrupt Venezuela's oil exports. Pam Bondi, who leads the U.S. Department of Justice, said the FBI, Department of Defense, Homeland Security, Department of War, not Defense anymore. They need to get that right. Department of Homeland Security and the U.S. Coast Guard coordinated the seizure. For multiple years, the oil tanker has been sanctioned by the U.S. states due to its involvement in illicit oil shipping network supporting foreign terrorist organizations.
Yeah. Like the Tren de Aragua, with the people coming in.
That's very interesting. It involved 2 helicopters, 10 Coast Guard, 10 Marines, as well as Special Forces. It's a very interesting time. I wonder, honestly, obviously they're not going to tell us their end game. They're playing chess whenever, and I'm not talking like 30 chess, but they're playing chess with this. I wonder if this has something to do with Iran or maybe Russia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's more that we don't know to this story.
Certainly.
It'd be very interesting to see.
Well, yeah, I mean, if these big plays are getting made, including, terrorism and these violent gangs and narcotics and things like that, you wouldn't think that Venezuela, although once very rich country, I think per capita they got some very wealthy people down there.
And they got beautiful land.
But they would, I guess my point would be, if all those things were in play, they wouldn't necessarily be doing that as a lone wolf, as popularly stated. They probably have some international allies.
Well, apparently this boat, which they call the Skipper, was sanctioned in 2022 for alleged involvement in oil smuggling that generated revenue for Hezbollah and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds forces. So linked to terrorism. So maybe they're just trying to stop that. Because Hezbollah, they're in Israel.
Yeah. Well, are they the ones that...
They're on the border, West Bank.
That are based out of Lebanon?
Yes, yeah.
Where are we at with the canal? The Panama Canal.
I haven't heard anything on the Panama Canal.
Weren't we taking that back and kicking China out of that deal and all that?
Yeah, I remember that. Let's see if we can't find anything. The funny thing, Hezbollah is actually a proxy of Iran.
Yeah.
So when Iran does something we don't like, we bomb Hezbollah. And whenever we do something Iran don't like, Hezbollah bombs Israel.
And then that all gets painted on Palestine.
Exactly. Yes.
All Palestinians are Hezbollah? Potentially. Allegedly.
Hamas, Hezbollah. Okay, well, this is from the BBC. Let's see. This is from March. Hong Kong billionaire to sell Panama Canal ports to U.S. firm. Take a guess who bought it.
Blah.
You almost said it.
BlackRock?
BlackRock.
Shocking.
BlackRock will buy 2 ports after Trump's interest in taking back control of the key shipping route. This will be an interesting one, won't we? I think we should go over this. Hong Kong billionaire sells Panama Canal ports to U.S. firm. Hong Kong-based company has agreed to sell most of its stake in 2 key ports on the Panama Canal to a group led by U.S. investment firm BlackRock. The sale comes after weeks of complaining by President Trump that the canal, this is in March, by the way, is under Chinese control, and the U.S. should take control of major shipping route through a subsidiary. C.K. Hutchins Holding operates port of the Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean entries to the canal. It is said Tuesday that it will sell its interest as part of a deal worth $22.8 billion.
Well, that's enough to keep
BlackRock,
that's enough to keep Ukraine going for a couple months.
BlackRock now owns part of the Panama Canal.
So this oil tanker,
Mm-hmm.
where would it be going? Its route?
Let's see. Well, if it was leaving Venezuela,
Mm-hmm.
and say it was going to Hezbollah, which would be in Lebanon. I would, yeah, Venezuela to Lebanon ship route. Let's see where they would have to go through. That'll be interesting. Let's see if I can't just find an image real quick. Because I don't. Do you know?
It seems
As
like that
far
would be.
as-
It seems like that would be the route, but I don't know.
I don't think it's too far from each other.
It seems like it would be going through there.
Let's see. Beirut port. Tripoli port. I don't know. Ports in Venezuela. Yeah. I
would,
don't think
I would
it-
have to phone a friend on the geography part of that.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I'm pretty ignorant as far as how the geography lays out, which I shouldn't be. Shame on me. But it is interesting that BlackRock owns the Panama Canal now.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it must be extremely lucrative if 28 was it 28 billion? Is that what? Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be extremely lucrative if you can fork out that.
Just as a good little FYI, BlackRock manages over 11.5 trillion in assets as of late 2025, owning stakes in nearly every major public company, including the holdings like Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, and significant portions of banks like JP Morgan, alongside infrastructure and real estate, acting as a massive, globally influential asset manager for client funds rather than owning the entire market itself. Over 12.5 million, it says that as of 2025. That is so much money. It's crazy that one company can own all that.
Yeah.
And they control everything at that point.
Things are just consolidating.
Yeah.
What was there was something just took place with was it Warner?
Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
Netflix
yes,
buying
yes.
Warner Brothers, and then Paramount coming back with a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that.
There's a lot of consolidation going on there.
There is. There's a lot of. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how this whole economic war is playing out, just all over. I mean, BlackRock just finding out that it bought the Panama Canal. I don't think many people probably know that. I didn't know it.
It got buried. It just popped in my head because I remember it's like, there was a lot of talk about that. And I remember thinking, we built that.
Mm-hmm.
How does China wind up with it?
No shit.
And then how do they get the money for selling it? Like,
Yeah. We still bought it from them.
was that
What the
that
hell?
like part of an IOU or something that
That's a good point. I didn't even think about. There was a monetary transaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting how it all works. Money. Well, I think pretty good for tonight, don't you think?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, hanging out with us, holding on to our rants, and we'd like to know what you think about all of our crazy stuff. Like, share, comment, subscribe. That's how you can support us. We're going to be doing this weekly, maybe bi-weekly if we got more to say. Drew, you want to say anything before we log off?
Oh, just a thank you for having me again.
Oh, thank you.
It was a great time.
Before we go, I do want to hit on one other thing. We had a very powerful message tonight, and I do want to hit on that before we go, just because, we being unafraid of our faith, it's easy to say, and even I notice myself, I just don't talk about it enough, and I think I really want to bring it in. I really want to talk about it.
Amen.
Tonight, we're in the Christmas season, and we're going over Christmas, in the Bible, and never thought about it, but a big story in the story of Christmas is King Herod. evil, crazy, maniacal man who he was a leader. You know, Herod, he had a ton of influence, and I'm reading from my outline from church. So shout out to Jerry Heath for he does these outlines, and he just hits the nail on the head. He's so good. And I just kind of want to go through this too because, like we were talking about with brilliant people being bad leaders, just to kind of tie it in to all this, I just seems divine to me.
Yeah.
So, you know, it says like Herod was the leader. Herod had a ton of influence and used it in a very bad way. You know, influence, he had it because he's leading. Power, because as a leader, you call the shots and give direction and have followers, right? Herod abused his power by employing people to go murder for him. Then if you guys want to go look up some scripture, Matthew 2:16 through 18. With great power comes great responsibility. Do not abuse the power. You know, and I think that's a big thing. And honestly, this kind of ties in with Candace and just influencers in general and people who talk to people is, you know, you have a choice to do it right or do it for self-gain. Mm-hmm. And we all want to think we're doing it for the right reasons because we believe in what we're doing. But, you know, a lot of times we do have self-gain, you know, like us doing podcasts, we are gaining influence and getting our voices out there and hopefully making the world better as we do it. But we do have something to gain from it, you know. Herod was very interesting when we were talking about this tonight. Let me find it here because I found it very interesting that, okay, I'll just go by memory. Herod called with the wise men. He had a meeting with them and knew that the Messiah was coming, you know, said that, you know, and believed it. This is the part that stands out to me the most that we went over tonight. Herod went and talked to the wise men, said, hey, go find out who the Messiah is. I want to worship him. You know, I want to worship him too, guys, whenever he planned on killing him.
Yeah.
You know, how many thousands of children or boy children from the ages 2 and under died because of Herod. I mean, a slaughter of innocent babes happened because of King Herod, because he was afraid to relinquish power and lose what wasn't his to begin with. The throne belongs to the Lord. Plain and simple. King Herod was in his position because God said it be so until that time. So the wise men, they outsmarted him. You know, he didn't kill Jesus, thank God. But whenever Herod was in the meeting with the wise man, he said, tell me where the Messiah is and I'll go worship him. He acknowledged that the Messiah was on earth, that he was born, and was still willing to kill the Messiah to keep his power. And to me, it's a glaring example of how addicting power can become and influence can become. And I think we must keep ourselves.
Well, I think I for myself,
Go ahead.
I don't know that Herod believed that. But he believed that they believed it.
Gotcha.
And that was powerful.
See, wherever I read it, him by saying Messiah almost acknowledges the prophecy, though.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's interesting that he would even say Messiah, but still be willing to kill the Messiah.
But if an entire culture of people believed it, that was a big deal.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
You know,
he
had to squash that or try to.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people
and still failed
think
because
about that, but Jesus was born into people hunting him. Like, he was.
That's very true.
Before he was even born, they were looking for the
kill him.
To kill him. Yeah.
To kill him, and then what did he make? 32.
He was literally born to die
for our sins.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, after getting to know the Bible and reading it, and it's kind of crazy what Jesus endured while on earth.
Oh man,
for us, so we had a chance at salvation.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I just kind of want to bring that message. It's
Amen.
The Christmas time. I meant to have Christmas lights up and kind of do it up. We'll do it next week, but I'll have them up next week. But what's your favorite story from the Bible?
I love the transformation. I've been reading a lot of Paul here lately. Like on the, he persecuted them like the Christians, like no other.
Yeah.
And then the Lord used, because he had so much influence with he was a Roman and a Jew.
Yeah, you could speak from both sides.
Yeah,
which I don't mean I'm just asking, but since he was both Roman and Jew, they allowed him a little more freedom
Oh
to
yeah,
speak.
certainly.
Okay.
Certainly. You know, and he was terrible of what he did to the Christians, but he was a man of absolute conviction. He believed that was righteous.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And once the Lord appeared and showed himself to him, he acknowledged that and completely dedicated his entire life to doing, even to being imprisoned and stoned nearly to death and all kinds of things. And so the redemption of just that guy and the transformation that's pretty, just, you know, knee-jerk reaction to your question. That's a big one to me.
I've been reading Saul.
Yeah.
So that is a very interesting book because, you know, it goes into, or Samuel. Sorry.
Samuel.
Yeah. I was
We were talking about Paul, so that you meant like Saul of Tarsus.
No. Samuel. And one thing that's very interesting to me, you know, we always talk about Christianity being full of love, and it is. We do, you know, we love the sinner, hate the sin. It's also brutal. You know, like in Samuel goes to Saul and tells him it's time to I can't remember what city it was going to kill women, children, the babes. I mean, this is Old Testament,
animals,
right?
Yeah.
And do you remember the name of that town? Or it was like retribution for what happened in Egypt, correct?
It was I can't remember. It was a people. I remember that, and I can't think of the name, but it was.
It began with an A.
Amalekites or something like that.
Yeah, but you know, and then Saul goes in and saves the best cattle, the best sheep for sacrifices, and Samuel goes, "You didn't do what the Lord said. He told you to." He said, "And you bring him back?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to sacrifice." He's like, "You just went against God's decree.
Yeah.
You know, you are stripped.
You had one job.
And now you are stripped from the king or the throne of Israel."
Yeah.
I found that very interesting because even though Saul thought he was doing or had good intention behind it, he didn't do what was commanded of him, and he lost the throne because of that. And then in comes David.
Yeah.
You know, just very interesting. I love it.
It is great. And big ups to you for bringing that in, you know.
Yeah.
Christ is Lord.
Christ is Lord. You know, we have the King of Kings, and we're celebrating his birth this month. I feel like it's a very holy month, you know, and I love it. And I think we need to bring more of this in. And maybe we need to do one just on the Bible and just talk about different stories. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be.
That would be. But all right, well, I know we were wrapping up a few minutes ago. We got kind of into that. But God bless you guys. Merry Christmas, and we will see you next time.